What's going on, everyone? So Quincy Olivari seems to be another Lakers story, right? Guy undrafted, a guy that really had to scratch, claw, climb to earn a spot. He was unfortunately unable to get on the main roster simply because the Lakers just don't have a spot for him. The roster's full, only $45K from the second apron, so they have no way to kind of waive a guy to bring Quincy Olivari in. Now, there is a lot of talks kind of circulating about various trades that the Lakers may potentially pull off. Walker Kessler has kind of been the guy in the spotlight for the Lakers thus far. And if they are able to kind of unload a guy or two in that type of move to where maybe you can free up a roster spot, especially if you were to trade like a D'Angelo Russell or something, Quincy Olivari could be a guy that maybe kind of steps in. It makes a lot of sense for the Lakers. He's a guy that, on paper at least, because we've seen him in Summer League, and we've seen him in a game, or I guess 2 games, right, towards the end of, what was it, game 3 or whatever, and then in the final game where he really earned that contract. But we've seen him be able to be a guy that can run an offense and just light it up and just shoot the lights out with the best of them. He is, 6'3", 6'4" in height. He's 23 years old, which the Lakers have always had good success with the kind of older veteran college players that kind of come in, particularly to just kind of play a role. I mean, look at like what Dalton Connect's been able to do. And at 6'3", 200 pounds, he is essentially the exact same stature as Gabe Vincent. So he's also a guy that's shown the ability to be a defensive menace and just kind of apply pressure out there. We saw him kind of get gassed, but you got to keep in mind, is not accustomed to, hey, 40 minutes a game, we need you to just go 110% on both sides of the basketball. And the Lakers on the main roster, if he was ever to make the main roster, wouldn't be asking him to do that anytime soon anyway, right? He'd be looked to kind of come in, initiate the offense, play defense, definitely, but just kind of be an off-ball shooter rather than like, hey, we need you to basically be the main guy tonight. So I do think Quincy, I think he would be fine in that type of role. However, there is a question to be proposed of, should the Lakers start seeing what they got in Quincy Olivari? Now, obviously, he's down with South Bay. They're doing their little training camp and all that stuff. So probably be about a week or two before you realistically start looking to bring Quincy Olivari into the fold. Also, got to keep in mind, he's a guy that, or we're on a road trip right now, and he's a guy that, you're not going to just like fly out just to give him 5 minutes and see what he can do. But I would like to see him sooner rather than later, maybe get some burn, get some run, and see if he can kind of step in and play a role. If he can kind of come in and maybe give you some quality minutes off the bench. I'm not saying you have to play him every night, but like, let's give him a stretch. So you can play him as much as 50 games, right? And if you are looking to maybe potentially make some trades and make some moves, wouldn't it be nice to see if Quincy Olivari can consistently put some level of play together and see if he is actually an NBA-ready guy right now? The idea is that he is. We've seen him in a summer league game or a preseason game be able to look like that, but it's different when it's night in and night out, game in and game out, rather than just like a stint. Like, hey, tonight is your night, and he's just going out there playing free. It's a lot different when the lights are bright and, now you're playing a game that really matters. So it'd be nice to kind of see and evaluate Quincy Olivari a little more than what we've gotten. And, I mean, you look at kind of the rest of the guards, right? I mean, particularly Gabe Vincent, who Quincy Olivari, you could argue, may end up being more impactful than Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent is giving you, like, nothing on the offensive side. He's shooting like 20% from three-point range. He shot like 11% last season. He's never been a great three-point shooter. He's always been, like a 32, 33% three-point shooter. But he is looked at as a guy that could at least give you some type of production. And he's giving you nothing, right? Defensively, don't get me wrong, he's getting after it. He's had some moments defensively, but even his defense hasn't been so good that it's justifying the inefficiencies on the offensive side of things. So to me, it's like, if you really are looking to move off of Gabe Vincent at some point, which the Lakers were shopping him in the offseason, and a lot of packages and rumors have him linked to various trades, So if you're looking to move off of Gabe Vincent at some point, you're looking to move off of like a D'Angelo Russell, right? Where we got those reports about him being included in the Walker Kessler trade. Well, it'd be nice to see what Quincy Olivari can do and what type of production he can do, and also kind of allow you to evaluate, okay, is he worth bringing on the main roster? Because even if you do trade Gabe Vincent, even if you trade D'Angelo Russell, right? Like, what happens if you bring Quincy Olivari in and he's not ready and he struggles and he's not like what we need him to be? Right now, what do? Do you just kind of grin and bear it? Or do you like try to unload somebody else? You know, say like you still have like a Cam Reddish, because you're not going to get rid of Quincy Olivari, but like let's say, you know, a Cam Reddish, do you unload a Cam Reddish and, you know, bring in a Jordan Goodwin or something, somebody that at least has NBA experience? My point is, I would like to see like what can Quincy give you, right? Now, chances are it probably won't happen, for being honest, until, you know, a Gabe Vincent gets the night off, or a D'Lo or a Reeves. Like if one of our guys gets a night off, which, I mean, you'd like all of them to play 82 games, right? You don't really want to see a guy get a night off because it's probably some type of injury. So, you know, I don't necessarily want that to happen for Quincy to get a chance, but it would be nice to kind of see, like, what can he provide? Can he be a guy that can provide some level of shooting? Is he a guy that can kind of step in? You know, maybe he's not even playing as the initiator. Maybe he's just solely playing as an off-ball shooter, right? I mean, even Max Christie has had his struggles. Obviously, look, as long as D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves are on this team, they're the guys, right? They're your two guards that are going to get, you know, 30, 35 minutes a game. But that's fine, right? Like, even if you end up keeping D'Lo, I do believe that the Lakers end up trading D'Lo at some point. I would be shocked if D'Lo is on this roster come trade deadline, but just for argument's sake, let's say you do keep these two. If Quincy can show the capability of being that, like, you know, 15-minute a game guy that can step in, play some defense, at least be serviceable defensively, but more than anything, be able to provide some consistent shooting and offense off the bench, it's something that the Lakers really need, right? Lakers bench has been atrocious. Lakers bench has been awful. So it would be nice if, you know, maybe we have a guy already that can kind of solve some of that stuff. If you can find a guy that kind of come in, plug in, and, you know, get some minutes, because you have 50 games that you can play Quincy right now, right? So, again, I'm not saying you have to run your entire offense, I'm not saying anything, but it would be nice to kind of see, you know, a handful of games, right? Especially, like, it would have been nice, especially against teams like Toronto, team like the Detroit Pistons coming up, right? Like, what does he look like against the bad teams? If he looks bad against the bad teams, then that's probably not a great sign that he's going to all of a sudden look good against the good teams, right? But if he looks good against the bad teams, well, then now maybe you try him against a team like next time you play Minnesota, where Minnesota actually has a good, deep bench. And it's like, okay, well, what can he do compared to their bench, right? Like, you know, the Thunder, right? Bring him in. Like, what does he look like against the Thunder's bench? And Alex Caruso's guarding him, who's a, you know, all-NBA defensive guy, right? Can he kind of hold his own? Point is that I'd like to see Quincy get and at least something. I'm not saying you have to play him 40 minutes, but it'd be nice to kind of see him step in, play a role, and see if he can maybe solve some of that bench woes. Now, obviously, the biggest concern, if he was to come on, even if he does look great, like let's say he comes on and he kills it. Say you give him 3-game sample size and he's just, it's like, okay, we got to get this kid on the roster. The issue is your bench is still, you're relying on 2 rookies, but another guy that essentially is a rookie because this is his first real opportunity. Right? You're talking Quincy Olivari, Max Christie, and Dalton Connect. Talk about 3 guys that are 21 to 24 and are going to have their hiccups. They're going to have their inconsistencies. They're going to have their good and bad nights. That, I mean, even Dalton Connect we've seen. right? He's had great moments and he's had not so great moments. We've seen the moments where his decision making is poor and just out of position or getting beat off the dribble or not properly slotted defensively or just kind of in the way offensively because he's still learning the system, which again is fine. That's okay, right? He's a rookie. You're expecting some of that, expecting him to kind of have to get through some of his hurdles. Even Max Christie, we've seen him, just be out of position at times, miss assignments, right? Kind of get in the way in ways. But again, it's fine. But now you'd be adding another young player into the mix that is probably going to have some of those same issues, right? But I don't know, Quincy. Every opportunity we've given Quincy, he's just thrived and blossomed in. And he just seems a guy that's not afraid of the moment. He just seems like a guy that is willing to, hey, like if you give me the opportunity, I'm going to show up and deliver. I'm about to go. Hey, what do you need? You need me to play some defense, shoot some threes? I got you, coach. Like he just, I don't know. I think it's worth just giving him a shot. I think it's worth just kind of gauging. Like, see, our bench can't be much worse, right? Like our bench, literally, we're 30th in the league. We're averaging 20 points per game from the bench unit. Right? You can't get much worse. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they kind of look to do that at some point. If they kind of look to, hey, maybe we should kind of give him an opportunity. Maybe we should give him a run. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think, you got to give Quincy an opportunity? You got to play him. You got to give him some legitimate minutes. Do you think no, right? Like, take time with him. All right, let him grow, let him develop. We need some, veteran guys off the bench. Again, how you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out as we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.